Everyone, welcome back. Chris McCormick joined by Blake Smith and Ben and Andrew, and we are here at Cobra Puma Golf headquarters, Carlsbad, California. Today we have an opportunity to take a look at the new 2024 offering from Cobra in the Darkspeed family. So before we get into the bay and start hitting some shots, make sure, give us a like, subscribe to the channel. Let's get to it.
Let's go.
All right.
Okay guys, we're here at Cobra today. We're testing the new Darkspeed LS driver. Here, Blake, have a look.
All right. Yeah, this is awesome. As far as the looks of this, I mean, I think people are gonna buy it on looks alone. This thing's great. Top down, really clean. I really like that matte finish, and then there's the carbon you can see through that matte finish. It's really, really, really clean.
So one of the things you'll notice, one of the big changes we made from Aerojet, we just kind of redefined the aerodynamics. You'll see that the face is a little bit deeper, that back aft is raised. It's a little more pear-shaped.
Yep. Yeah, and underneath, carbon, and you got the weights. I mean, it's just really, really streamlined and clean. It's really good. Looks
Yeah,
fast.
as you mentioned there, the weights. One thing we've added since Aerojet is that one weight in the back there. So from a fitting standpoint, now players that need a little higher spin or a little more forgiveness, you can pull that CG back.
Yeah, and as a fitter, I really appreciate that. I can start to change the CG around and stuff. Like somebody that needs a little bit more fade bias, draw bias, get the ball up in the air, add a little bit of spin, take it away. There's a lot of adjustability here. That's fitter friendly, and I'm always happy with that. Let's give this thing a run. That was ripped. That felt really good. Yeah, really solid, good sound and feel. That was hammered.
And that little fade's kind of your typical shot.
Yeah, I had a little flat cut. All right, I hit that off the toe, and it didn't gear left. And that's my miss. High toe. So if high toe doesn't rip left, then that's pretty good. And I hit that pretty far out on the toe.
So for the player that's currently in Aerojet LS or potentially even LTDX LS, transitioning into Darkspeed LS, what are some of the new additions in tech or innovations that are included?
Blake's last shot is a really good example of what tech has gone into basically our last two models specifically. Is he hit that quite a ways on the toe, and you still kept your spin at 2100. Your launch was still there. You know, it obviously wasn't falling out of the sky. It wasn't ripping left. So, you know, our spin deltas across the face when you do miss have been a lot better and substantially better over the last few years, meaning that when you hit it high in the face, you're still getting enough spin to keep it airborne.
For sure.
Right? So you're still getting that launch, but you're getting enough spin to keep it airborne. And vice versa, you're hitting it low on the face where normally it's gonna spin a bunch,
right? It's
spinning less and staying flatter. So, you know, that kind of like that heel squeeze that can get a little goofy. I've been noticing like that's been very improved with a lot of players. The toe ball more specifically, especially with better players who obviously hate going left usually. So if, you know, that miss is going maybe half the distance it was before and staying in the air, obviously you're getting a lot more distance out of it, which is a good thing, but you're not missing it nearly as far offline, and that's been a huge attribute, you know, the last few products, and we're just capitalizing on that even more with the new Darkspeed.
Let's see if I can hit that heel squeeze. That was squeeze. That was it. That's not gearing too much. I'd kind of expect that. If I'm gonna hit it on the heel, so sometimes when there's really bad trouble, I'm gonna hit it on the heel
That's your safety
intentionally. Shot. So yeah, I mean, that was pretty hard on the heel.
Yeah, that was exaggerated pretty good.
290.
So that one you hit in the heel, normally the spin's gonna come way up. Your spin came up, you know, 200 RPMs. We're still at 2400 there, right?
Really, really good. Let's increase the forgiveness.
Yeah, so let's test out this new weight. We'll pull the 12 gram weight back, pulling that CG back. And for a lot of great people, that's gonna help with people that hit high in the face or maybe hit on the toe and get the spin gets too low. Okay. So let's try that out.
Yeah, and this is really cool stuff when you're fitting. You can just put the fine grit sandpaper on it a little bit and, and get it really dialed in. And if the spin's just a little bit low, launch is a little bit low, person's hitting it just a little bit off the sweet spot, this gets it right where it needs to be.
Exactly, or the player that prefers this LS shape, which is a little more pear-shaped, a little deeper, but in the past wouldn't spin the LS enough. Now we can pull that weight back,
Yep.
give them the spin they need to keep them in the air.
Yeah, adjustability is awesome stuff when you're working in our craft.
Let's give that a go. So your spin rates were 22, that last one was 24, so we'll see what this changes here.
Okay. Okay, that felt way better. Not that the previous version felt bad.
Yeah, so perfect example there, right? So that the spin rate came up there, 2570. By no means high spin. If you're looking
Yep.
for a shot that's not going to curve as much, be a little more online, that spin rate's probably a little better. If we want a little more distance, that 21, 22 is going to give you a little more yardage, but it just depends what you're looking for.
It's almost a carbon copy of the last one. Wow. Yeah, I mean, usually in a driver like this, I don't put the weight back because I want all the ball speed.
Right.
But I can tell you that this just changed the feel, and that's the exact same spin number.
Yeah, so 2570 again, and then even if you look at ball speed, like you said, when you pull the weight back, sometimes you'll lose a bit of speed.
Yep.
Your highest ball speed so far has been 169. Speed's still there, 168, just a little more spin, a little more stable, a little more forgiving with that weight in the back.
Yeah, so when you make a driver forgiving, you can swing for the fences, right? So let's swing for the fences. See what I got. Wow, I floored it, and I got 174 ball speed. And I feel like I can just swing for the fences with this thing.
And talking about spin, since we moved that weight back, the spin consistency, you were 2570, 2570, 2514, right? It doesn't get any better than that from a consistency standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we have the Darkspeed X. This is our kind of a model right in the middle. It's going to fit the most amount of players.
Yep.
One difference this year from Aerojet, we've added one weight down here in the front. So for certain players that prefer the larger shape, need a little more forgiveness, but the previous model was a little too high spin or not fast enough, now we can move that weight forward and push the CG forward and bring down that spin and bring back the speed back up. So let's try, that's a 9° with the weight in the back. So we'll try like that first,
okay,
and then we'll move the weight forward after and see how that changes.
Yeah, I mean, right away you can see that the shape, the weight's gonna be back. It's kind of more of a triangle kind of shape, but the overall aesthetics of the driver look about the same.
From top down address, they look very similar.
And what I really like about Cobra is that flatter face looks like a hammer. When the face gets a little too bulbous and there's too much roll and bulge there, I feel like it's a ball peen hammer. Now, it's like hard to hit.
Right.
Right? And it's not necessarily the case, but that's like what I think. And so it's kind of it's more of a subjective part, right? So when I see that, I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna hit the back of that ball and smash it. Hopefully I do that. Came out of that one and hit it low heel.
So the point on the face and how it looks, it's set up, I think that's a testament to our design and engineering team and how well they do, because that's a blend of its shapes, right? So like what you're seeing, describing like the ball peen, a lot of that's shaping. The bulge and roll may be exactly the same,
Yeah.
you know, that you're looking at, but because of how the skirt may fade off from the heel and how it fades off from the toe and where the paint lines are, and you know, those things all visually make a big difference. So
Absolutely.
there's thought, you know, and engineering that goes into all these things. So a guy like yourself looks at it and says, man, this looks like a hammer.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, confidence is number one right out of the gate, right? You feel like you're
100%.
gonna hit a bomb, you're gonna hit a bomb probably. That was better.
There you go.
There's the fade. That would be I'd pick up the tee real quick.
So spin there, 2800, so a little higher. Right now we have that 12 gram right in the back. Let's move it forward and
Yep,
see how that changes.
For sure. The LS is built more for speed, so if this thing can jump up though, I would not be opposed to playing more forgiveness.
There you go.
That's what I talk to people a lot about. It's like if the forgiveness is there, you might want to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, you really should.
Game's hard enough as it is.
This way, really hard.
Hit that in the heel again. I'm ringing the heel a little bit here.
Scared of going left, and the only thing that's over there's a wall.
I know, I'm just always scared of the left. That was more in the center. Definitely got the auto fade going. It definitely changed the sound.
Yes, yeah. Like the Ben's point earlier, whenever you shift CG, it will change the acoustics a little bit.
So as we're testing these different head models, changes in face. So I know we went away from Infinity Face. So now what do we have going into Darkspeed line as far as face tech?
So carrying over from Aerojet, we still have our PowerShell hot face. So hot face stands for highly optimized topology. So basically we have 15 spots behind the face where we control the thickness, where we can speed up and slow down certain spots of the face to ensure that across the entire face, speed's consistent. And then carrying over from Aerojet, the PowerShell. PowerShell's been a technology in our irons and hybrids for years. So the face actually cups around the bottom. Where that helps with is low strikes in the face.
Absolutely.
Typically in drivers, low on the face has always been a slow spot. With our face in this driver, when you hit it low in the face, the speed maintains. Your launch will come down, the spin will come up, but that speed will still be there.
Yeah, and that last one I caught, that one's a good example, 2462 on spin. So spin came down. That was hit pretty well.
We'll get one more for the sample here.
And like our LS, where we've added a weight, we've done the same here, adding a forward weight, obviously, again, making it more dynamic, which, you know, we actually have experience with this two-weight system similar to this. We did that in our F9, which was a highly successful product.
F9 was really solid.
Yeah, it did very well and was well liked across the board, especially in the fitting world. So we know that this tech works, having these two. So again, nice to have another option as a fitter.
Okay, so here we have the Darkspeed Max. The weighting's in the neutral setting with a 12 gram in the back and a 3 gram in the heel. So we'll start with that.
Okay.
And maybe just to see at the end, we'll move that 12 gram to the heel to see how that changes your little left to right ball flight there at the end.
Okay. Yeah, definitely bigger. It's going to inspire confidence for the group of people that fit into this driver. So that's the category that we have to put them in the right category. So when you pull this driver, you better kind of get the right category. It's really cool as far as the way that it looks. Obviously, it's sticking with the whole idea of what Darkspeed is. Red on the bottom, so it goes red, blue, and then black.
This is our Max model. It's the highest launching model. So we kind of paired that up, the red color with the red high launching shafts. We move into the X, the blue. Blue's typically your mid-launch, mid-ball flat shafts. And then we move into the LS, the all black. Most black or white shafts are your low launch, low spin.
I love that. I mean, keeping the fitter in mind there, so you can just kind of like grab it and go.
Yeah.
Well, definitely more left start line, and it did not want to move to the right. Pretty good. All the feel is about the same.
You know, last year we did a really good job bringing them together. The year prior, I think we did a better job. So every year is getting better on all three, having a similar sound and feel, which is not easy to do.
No, definitely not. Yeah, people don't appreciate how much effort it takes to really dial in the acoustics of a metal wood.
This thing wants to go straight. I mean, I know I'm fading it a little bit, but it's not getting out of control. It's a little on the toe. All right, draw bias drivers on the toe usually rip way left.
Right.
And that did not do that, and I bombed it. Wow.
It's actually impressive how straight that stayed online.
That's
where
cool.
he hit it.
Yeah.
So we've moved the 12 gram weight into the heel. So that's going to help with golfers that struggle with that left to right ball flight. It's also going to help with golfers that strike the ball in the heel, keep up that ball speed, minimize gear effect. I also changed our MyFly setting into the draw setting. That's going to help with start line. It's going to help with the start line starting a little more left. So I'm going to give that a try.
Cool. So usually when all that stuff you said, that usually makes the left happen. Sometimes though, I will fight against it. So we'll see which Blake you get here.
It's not going right.
That start line's good. That was hit well. Just the spin's just a touch high. I mean, when you put
for your type of speed, this head obviously wouldn't be a typical pilot that fits into this, but I just wanted to showcase, what we can do directionally with the ball flight when we move that weight and change that, sleeve setting, make the driver a little more upright. Now where everything's starting just left of center, right?
Yep. And I can tell you that, some people in this category, they're spinning at like 5,000.
Right.
So with speed, if you can go low spin but draw bias, that is wonderful. Yeah.
Which is a tough combo.
Yes.
Very.
I'm gonna slow this down just a little bit. And dead straight it goes. That was missed too.
That's a perfect example. Since we switched that weight around, nothing's been right at that line. So for the golfer that needs that left bias, it works great in fittings.
Look at how consistent the spin is. Just over and over and over again, right in the same place. Well, guys, you created a really good driver here, a really good line. It fits a lot of people, a lot of good separation, right? So you got the low spin, bomber driver, one in the middle. I like the color scheme. And then the red one is really for the draw bias. And it's not out of control and it doesn't spin too much. It's really, really good lineup.
Yeah, we're excited for 24 and getting into the golfers' hands.
Thank you so much for that. That was a really good representation of new Darkspeed family that's coming out. So when you are ready to test new Darkspeed, make sure to book your next fitting at your local TrueSpec. Don't forget, give us a like, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.